Hello to Steph Cameron. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me on.
Thank you very much for letting me chat to you today. So, can you tell me roughly how long have you been a singer-songwriter for?
That's a good question. Well, I was a busker for a very long time before I started to put music on records. So I've busked almost my whole life. And then I put my first record out in 2014. And then I put my next record out in 2017. And I haven't put anything out since then until April 25th when I just released my new album.
So, what was it like busking for all that time?
Oh, it was fantastic. I loved it because I love to travel and I loved to sort of, just be free to move around whenever I wanted. And so busking was just a really great way to connect with people and work on songs, work on music, work on performance. I don't know, there's something about busking on the street all over. I just loved it. I haven't done it in a long time now, but that's definitely how I started.
So, what was it like going into his recording studio to record your debut album called Sad-Eyed Lonesome Lady?
Yeah, it was a pretty wonderful experience. I had been in smaller studios quite a bit in my life up at that point. But then I randomly was connected with Kim Cook, who was the head of the label that ended up signing to. And he loved this little demo that I put out. It was like sort of a 6-song EP that I recorded in my friend's bedroom. And he it ended up in his hands, and he loved it, and he invited me out to Toronto to come and stay for a few weeks and tour his recording studio called Revolution Recordings. And it's just this amazing state of the art recording studio in Toronto. It's absolutely phenomenal. So, I was there, we were getting to know each other, and so we just decided, well, let's go into the studio. So we spent 3 days recording, and the whole album came out of that. It's just me on that record. So it was a big whirlwind. It was really wonderful. And then that album did really well. And so that was really, really great. And we recorded the second record there as well. Yeah, so it was wonderful. And then those two albums I was on my own. So it was just me and my guitar, my finger picks, and a harmonica. So this last album that I've just put out in this past April has a whole band on it. So it was a very different experience in the studio with band members. It was also wonderful, just in a really different way.
So, can you more about your second album that was called Daybreak Over Jackson Street?
Yeah. So that was an album that I did in 2017. And I was with my label in Toronto at the time, Pheromone Recordings. And then I also signed with a little label out here in the UK at the Helm Records. And so I came out here and did a few tours on that album as well out here. And then after I put that record out, I toured for a few years. Then the pandemic happened, and I also became a mother. So I took quite a bit of time off. And now, my first son is 4 years old now. And actually, I just had another baby in October who's on this tour with me. There's actually two babies on this tour with us.
Very handsome there.
Yeah.
So, can you tell me? I know we have quite a bit of rain in the UK. So, well, not today, as we're recording this interview, but can you tell me more about single that was called Rain?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that was sort of the first song that I wrote, sort of in that style. I was really known for sparse, folk revivalist type of folk music. And this song has more of almost like a 70s folk rock vibe to it. There's like a little bit of a pop element to it. It's got all these, vocal layers that I'm playing with, which I never did before. All my records were really just live off the floor, just me, no harmonies or anything like that. So this has a lot more vocal elements to it. It's got beautiful backing instrumentation. Sort of got a bit of a Fleetwood Mac vibe. Just a really, really fun song. But what it's about really is just sort of almost just the dissipation of the soul, just sort of returning to nature and just really connecting with, the world around us. The whole record really is quite earthy and really just about connecting with nature and connecting with natural elements in the world. Yeah.
So, what is it like going solo and now with the bands?
You know, tomorrow's the first show with the band, so I flew out to Toronto and did about a week's worth of rehearsals. And being on stage by yourself is it's really I always loved it because it was just, I could just go my own way. I could just do my own thing. I could, I it was just me, so I just had a lot of freedom on stage. But what I'm sort of noticing about working with a band is there's a lot less pressure. I mean, that pressure on stage, I think, is going to be sort of evenly divided, and it's not all going to fall on me. So that I think is going to be really nice. Plus, it's just fun. It's fun working with other people. It's a great band. They're really, really talented musicians and artists and really wonderful people. So I think it's going to be really great to be on stage.
So, can you tell me, Robert, more about the double single release that we called Whatever Questions You're Asking?
Yeah, so that was a double single. There was Whatever Questions You're Asking and Summer Song, and they're pretty different, they're pretty different songs. One of them is just got this really strong beat in the background, Summer Song, and the other one is quite quiet and mellow, and it has the mellotron in the background, giving it a real sort of 70s folk vibe. Those songs are again just really about the natural world with whatever questions you're asking. There's a lot of imagery around, campfires, nighttime, starlight, moonlight, that sort of thing. I mean, I'm from Canada. I spend a lot of time in the bush, in the forest, around the fire, sitting under the starlight and in the wilderness. And so a lot of these songs are just really about that feeling and that sort of connection. And that I think those are the strong driving factors behind that double single.
So, can you tell me more about your latest album called Blood Moon?
Yeah, so I started recording this album, I guess, in 2022. Part of it was recorded in Vancouver, with the rhythm section there, and part of it was recorded in Saskatchewan, which is where I'm from and where I live. And it was, yeah, like I said, it's my first band album. It was co-produced by John Ram, so I did, I helped produce the record. And what was really great about working with John is, well, first of all, he's just a fantastic producer and he's just a fantastic person and musician. But it can be really difficult. I found out working with other musicians can be really difficult to communicate the language of what it is that you want in the studio. When you're talking about sound, there's a language around sound that not everybody speaks and not everybody interprets in the same way. And so if you're saying that you want something to sound warm, and dull, or you want it to sound wet and you want it to sound this, there's all these different expressions that people use. And, some of those things are a little bit intuitive, but it was so nice having John to sort of translate for me. And obviously, I'm not a drummer. And so trying to ask for things that you want, if you don't speak the language is really challenging. So, yeah, John was just really fantastic. So the record, it's just my first album since 2017. It's 10 songs. I'm really, really proud of it. It's got beautiful, beautiful instrumentation on it. And yeah.
So I know you just released Blood Moon, but are you going to be working on any new music in the near future?
Pardon me?
I know you just released Blood Moon, so are you working on any new music in the near future?
Well, always writing. So I do have I've definitely got enough for an EP to record anytime. I love being in the studio. Like it's just a fantastic place to be and creating music in the studio. So I would love to get in and record some more stuff soon. But right now, just really focused on this tour and then taking some time off. I had a really, really busy year. So a good chunk of the summer is just going to be, just about camping in different places all across Canada, just being with my family.
So what's it like being a signed artist to Neon Moon Records?
It's wonderful. They're a very, very supportive label. They're very easy to connect with, communicate with. They're just very artist focused. And yeah, so they're wonderful to work with. Yeah, and they've been, really helpful with basically every element of the release. So yeah.
So, can you tell me, have you got any upcoming gigs you want to mention?
Yeah, so on Monday, I'll be playing in Cambridge at the Junction, Tuesday, Bristol at the Hen and Chicken, and then in London on the 14th, playing at the Jazz Cafe. So this is a tour I'm on with Toronto artist Abigail Lapel. It's a co-bill, so we'll be playing, the same kind of, I'll be playing and she'll be playing probably about 45 minutes to an hour each night. Um, and then we're moving on to Sweden and the Netherlands, Belgium, and Germany. So yeah, really, really, really looking forward to those shows. And we both have our babies with us on tour, and yeah, so it's just a really, really fun time. And I hope to see some listeners at some of these shows in the UK.
So, finally, can you tell my listeners more about your social media?
Oh, sure. Well, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and I, of course, have a YouTube channel. And everything that you need to know about social media or releases, tour dates, merch, anything like that is all on my website, which is stephcameron.com.
Thank you. Let me chat to you today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.